hope that all ends soon, because if I win the primary in May, I'm going to step down from teaching at Purdue to commit to this full time. So the semester is going to be over soon, and I'm very, very dedicated to not just winning the primary, but also winning in November. Let me tell you a little bit about some of the things that I believe in. Healthcare is a huge concern. The cost of healthcare. My nephew is 15 years old. He was born in 2012 with a heart defect, and at the age of 2, he had a heart transplant, and was one of the youngest kids at Riley Children's Hospital to ever receive a heart transplant. So he's had Medicaid for his entire life. When the big beautiful bill passed this last summer, my sister and my brother-in-law were informed that they no longer were on Medicaid. He takes 20 pills a day. My cousin got kicked off Medicaid. So I have a lot of family members that are feeling the effects of this, and you probably do too. At the same time, we have a federal government that says we can't take care of each other. We can't pay for Medicaid. We can't pay for Medicare because we need $1.5 trillion to go to Iran. Yeah. I would like members of Congress and members of government to go in front of people and say, I need $1.5 trillion so that kids from Riley Children's Hospital are not losing Medicaid and disability. The CEO of Eli Lilly makes $30 million a year. We're the richest country in the world. We have great corporate profits. We have plenty of money to take care of everyone. And I think that should be the primary objective of the richest country in the world. The richest country in the world's first objective should be to take care of all of its citizens. So I'm advocating for a single-payer healthcare system that can be funded with a more progressive taxation system. Right now, our highest marginal tax rate is relatively low. Our corporate tax rate is 21%. I think we can also wake up to the reality and legalize cannabis. We're surrounded by states that all have legal cannabis. That studies have shown that that's going to generate over $200 million annually in a state, in a government that is so obsessed with giving people tax breaks that have so much money that they don't actually know how to, that they can't spend it all. We have to be creative and come up with new streams of revenue. So that's just one. And we also have to consider the fact that, my dad's soybeans are in storage right now. So we've possibly lost permanent market share because we treat other countries as adversaries instead of treating them as partners. And so now the result of that is that we won't be able to sell our crops. And farmers, I can tell you from experience and from my, from the perspective of my family, at least, farmers do not want handouts. Farmers want the market to work. So we cannot get in the way of the market working. And so, in addition to the loss of soybeans to China, for instance, we also need to think about harvesting, cultivating hemp. Hemp production needs to increase. Hemp can do a lot of different things. And my dad, he's pretty conservative, but he said that if he could switch to hemp right now, he would. He'd switch to farming hemp in a second. He just doesn't have a buyer. There's no guaranteed contracts. You can go in any direction from your home and sell your corn and beans. There's no problem with that. So we need to incentivize that. If we legalize cannabis, that's another stream of agricultural revenue. One main goal of our campaign is to activate, energize, work with young folks. Most people, not most, I'd say some people that I talk to on the trail, I get a funny look. I say, I want to really get the 18, 20, 25, 30-year-olds participating because our participation in Indiana, I don't know if you know this or not, we're about dead last. And the younger you get, the lower the participation. So a lot of people think this is a foregone conclusion. So if you think it's a foregone conclusion, well, then maybe my campaign's not the one for you. Because what we've succeeded at doing so far is, for instance, the Boone County Young Democrats did not exist. So we helped stand them back up. The Purdue College Democrats, I'm not going to take credit because they got their charter back before I crashed one of their parties. But the Purdue College Democrats, we have several of them, one or two of them here, and they are very healthy right now. And a lot of these young folks are working on the campaign, on our campaign. And when I have a 19-year-old running social media, I have a 22-year-old campaign manager. They're doing outstanding work, and other young people are seeing that it's not pointless, that they can do something, that they can be a part of this process. And so we need to really attack, instead of just saying, well, young folks aren't going to do it anyway, so don't worry about it. I say no. I say we attack that problem, and then when you go after that problem, then you can have health care for everyone. Then you can have legal cannabis. Then you can have a Congress that doesn't view the rest of the world as adversaries, but is rather diplomatic and works with other people. So we're very much into young participation, but we're ultimately we're for 99% of the population. Our everyday people are not being represented in Congress, and so our campaign has a very specific goal. And it is, when the primary ends, and if we are successful, which I think we will be, we're going to have a town hall in every single county in the 4th District between the primary and the general election. So everyone's invited. It's not a Democrat open house. It's for everyone, because it's the exact opposite of what's happening right now. Jim Baird is not accountable to us. Jim Baird does not even vaguely care what people in his district believe. So we're going to have a town hall everywhere, and all 16, we have 16 counties, so that means 16 town halls. And that's one thing that we're going to do for the everyday folks. But also, our campaign is not going to accept any money from any corporate PAC that contributes to wealth inequality in this nation. We're not going to accept any money from an ideological PAC that we are against, like APAC. We believe that Citizens United has brought generational destruction to our society, to our way of life, and we are fully in support of overturning Citizens United, getting big money out of politics, getting everything back in Washington. One thing that Congress can do a lot better is regulate these data centers. So if you get grassroots candidates, you're going to be able to regulate data centers. You're going to be able to tell them that they cannot come into your community unless they're going to work for the community. So, for one, Congress needs to regulate data centers. And another thing that Congress needs to do, that I will move to do immediately, and this is actually the reason that I joined the race, is watching ICE terrorize our own citizens. So, and if ICE continues to be a lawless agency that does not adhere to basic law enforcement standards, then they need to be abolished. Yes. I think they might be too far gone at this point. I know that I have a few more minutes, but I'd like to actually stop right there and see if anyone has any questions for our campaign. Yes?
What do you see as the biggest hurdle if you running against Jim Baird?
Okay, so one hurdle against running against Jim Baird, which it could be Craig Haggard. Craig Haggard looks like a formidable primary opponent. one thing that stands out with our campaign is I'm the only military veteran in the Democratic primary. And I think when you're talking about a general election in November, that identity piece is going to be very important. And not only the identity, but also Jim Barrett has failed veterans. He voted against the PACT Act. And so, I mean, we have 20 veteran suicides a day, thousands per year. We have 30,000 plus homeless veterans at any given time. So I definitely want to be a strong voice for veterans. I mean, I'm one person that has experienced disruptions myself. So I think that the military aspect and showing people how Jim Barrett has failed veterans, for one, is one way to gain a competitive edge.
Well, you mentioned it could be the other guy. What will be?
Or Craig Haggard, he's also a military veteran, but also super MAGA. And so I mean, I see him as voting against the PACT Act or doing whatever Trump says. So, anyone else? Yes.
What does the rest of your summer, your year look like if you don't make it through the primaries? How are you going to give anyway?
I'm a lifelong participant in this process from now on. So many of the events that I've gone to as a candidate, I've gone to these events and I've realized that I need to be going to these kind of events anyway. I've kind of become really energized by this whole process and meeting people and seeing other people that are very passionate about making change, like coming to an event like this. So obviously there's not much, I would try to get caucused into another office and try to run for something else, but at this point, good news, everything is filled up. So there's nothing to run, there's nowhere I can go because every office at the lower level in Tippecanoe County is filled. And I hope the same is true for Hendricks, because I learned that we don't participate very well. When I ran for office, people were like, why are you jumping in right at the federal level? And I'm like, well, I didn't realize that we actually don't do such a good job at county commissioner and town council and all that stuff. So 100%, if I don't win, I'm going to be running for state representative or town council. I'm going to be involved for life from here on out. Sorry?
You're willing to support whoever wins the primary, whatever
Yes.
Democrat? Thank you very much.
Yes, I am. It's a crowded field. There are 8 of us, and we've all pledged to help whoever's going to win. Yes?
I appreciated you saying something about the data centers. Thank you. I appreciated you saying something about the data centers. But one thing I haven't heard really anyone talking about is the unchecked sort of running away with the game before anybody has a chance to really see what we're playing with AI. I have a 10-year-old daughter. I'm trying to raise her in this technology environment. Those data centers are filled with data that's been scraped from all of us. And there's constantly just information about us and technology that's all unfettered. And so I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on regulating AI so that we can have more control over our own data?
I'm equally concerned about AI. I'm okay with AI stopping actually right where it's at and maybe moving backwards a little bit. So one thing, I think AI, very heavy regulation at the federal level. I don't have kids myself, but I know that students are using AI, kids are using AI to replace relationships, and it is inhibiting their development and their ability to relate to others. So it's very strange. I finished school in 2023 and I never used AI for anything. And then now I've started teaching in 2024 and my students are using it for everything. And so I think the heavy regulation is one piece of it. And I think also education should not be so technologically driven. I think in, like, for instance, K through 8, there need to be, get rid of the iPads, get rid of the tech entirely, like go back to pen and paper. And yeah, kids that are in 7th, 6th grade, 5th grade don't need to be using any technology. I think it's only bad for students, for kids, for parents. It's disconnecting, even though it's supposed to be connecting us together. Yes?
Tagging off education, what is your opinion on the vouchers going to private schools that are supposed to be going to only public?
Yeah, 100% against any taxpayer money going to any charter schools or any private schools. And the voucher program, I was just talking to somebody about this, started in, I think, 2011. And when it first started, it was going to students of color, students of need proportionally. And now the vouchers, the needs-based criteria is gone. It's going to rich kids. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever that we're funding rich kids to go to some other school. So I am completely against any taxpayer money going to any charter schools or to any vouchers that are not needs-based. Needs-based criteria, yes, that's a different story. All right. Well, I think that wraps things up. Thank you all so much for listening to me. I wanted to say one more thing I didn't remember to say, is I believe that reproductive freedom is an issue between a woman and her doctor.
Amen, brother. Thank you, Drew. It was good. I liked it. Jaden McCash was maybe going to be here. He is another candidate for Congressional District 4. He's a truck driver, and he wasn't going to be able to get here in time. But that does remind me, for all of you, Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 18th, 2 to 4 p.m., Plainfield Public Library. All of the candidates will be there for they're all going to get 10 minutes to answer one question, the same question. And you'll get to hear every single one of them answer that one question. And then we'll have a little bit of time left over for everybody to just get up and talk eyeball to eyeball kind of thing. So I encourage you all to go to that. Minutes.
I move we approve the
Minutes have been read. Moved. What is that called? Motion and seconded. And you may not have heard that, but we've got that routine down pretty well. So the minutes are approved. Teresa, are you ready for treasurer's report?
Y'all have the statement there on the table with the agenda. We had significant expenses this past month, and so I just highlighted a few of those at the bottom. If you want to know details of that, check with me in the back. It's not COVID. Check with me in the back, and I can show you the transaction report where we can look at the individual items. It was a very busy month last month. I mean, we had 143 contributions during the course of the month, so that was really good. And that's really pretty much it, other than one last push for the Triple D drawing, the first drawings tonight, we're continuing to sell tickets between now and the last drawing, which will be at the May meeting. 29 chances to win. So, I think you heard a little bit about that before. So if you have any questions about finances, check with me in the back.
Thank you, Teresa. So now let's move on to, you know what? I'm gonna mess up the agenda again. I know I've never done that before. But there are, you saw the candidates that stood up. We've heard from Drew. If there are candidates out there that want to come up here and say something, please, let's take 10, 15 minutes and do that so that you can put a name with a face.
Please.
No, Nancy, no.
Good evening. My name is Nancy Stinson, and I'm only this tall, so I'm not going to stand behind the podium. I am running for Brownsburg Town Council Ward 5. There are 5 seats. There are 2 that are open, and I'm Ward 5, and Ward 1 is not being met right now. So you'll see Linda is actually handing out some of my campaign cards. Some of you might have already seen them. My platform is housing, land rights, affordable living, planned growth. We have seen some growth in Brownsburg that will result in semi-trucks running down residential county roads. We have seen growth that has resulted in warehouses being across from and next to heritage farms. And I think we can do better. I know we can do better. HB 1001 regarding ordinances and the state coming down and directing guidance is there are options that we can still manage. There was another housing development that is currently in the court system. I don't approve of that development. I am for housing, but I'm not pro that one. That one will disrespect the neighbors that surround it, and it will shoehorn a community into another community. And I feel like we need to respect our existing neighbors first and foremost. There's lots and lots of people that don't like big solar fields. Well, I don't like them either, but there's lots of space on those empty warehouses. We can easily put solar panels on those big boxes. Those big boxes, most single-story corporations can be carbon neutral, and yet our state government does not require them to be. Our town ordinance can. We can require better energy compliance, energy codes within our town, within our county, for those of you that are running at the county level or other towns. That can be required at a local level. Same with minimum wage. I am perfectly happy to stand up there and say that the Brownsburg minimum wage needs to be $13 an hour this year. Much of the minimum wage in Brownsburg is at 15, but there are some companies that do 12. I'm going to say, you want to come into our town, that's fine, great, come on in. Your minimum wage needs to be 13. Next year it needs to be 14.
Year after that, it needs to be 15. We can raise this in a smart way. Are there any questions?
You want to move the A-bond?
You have a wonderful candidate running for the State House in Washington Township. His name is Will Coltrane. So maybe he'll take our energy code requests and requirements to the State House. And I know he'll do great things with healthcare in the State House. Any other questions? I have my campaign cards. You're welcome to keep one. I'm asking that even those of you that might not live in Brownsburg, that you take a couple more, because I bet you have friends in Brownsburg. Are you
strictly audio,
here, or are you being a candidate? Okay.
How am I doing?
Hi, I'm
Oh,
Carol Bryan. I have a couple of
okay,
hats
what's
going
that?
on.
You can sit over
One is that I am a candidate for Liberty Township Board. There are about 3 very important things that I think everyone in Hendricks County should know about townships. The state just passed a law that requires township trustees to meld with others if they don't have enough money, population, or structure to exist on their own. That means that they're closing down, or like, I can't remember the number, but it's like, I think over 200 townships are being shut down. And the unfortunate thing is that the township trustees, especially for rural areas, are the closest elected official to the population. They have not used their positions in an expedient way, and in a way that improves the lives of the townships. But there's a potential that could happen. I've seen township trustees in Liberty that did nothing. They padded their own coffers. They put a rainy day fund away of over $1 million when the income per year was $340,000. And they were not taking care of the fire department in Liberty. We have a new Liberty Township trustee who is taking care of the fire department, but is not really cognizant of the need for structure for communities, need for organization to have communities become more self-sufficient. Supporting individual residential green energy, for instance. Getting off the grid of the utility companies. That's something a township trustee could actually do. The other thing that a township trustee could do is organize community markets where people who are meat producers, egg producers, vegetable producers could come together and have markets and have fresh vegetables farm to table within 10 miles. Another thing that I've thought of is taking some of the funds that they use to clean up, that they have for a rainy day fund, and actually putting a berm on some of the country roads so that kids could walk or even ride their horses or their bicycles to school instead of taking a bus. I think that would make our community stronger, healthier, and I think that it's very possible. And it might be a pipe dream of mine, but I'm really sure that if you shut down township trustees, that vision is going to go to the pocketbooks of the counties and the state. It's not gonna be spent locally. Thank you, Karen. Who's next? Okay, Jared's gonna go. This is Jared Petrie. He's running for County Council, District 3.
So if you don't know where Hendricks County Council 3 is, that's Plainfield and then southwest Hendricks County. So my name is Jared Petrie, like Linda said. I decided to run for County Council mainly because I am sort of a nerd and I like to read the minutes of government activity. See? So I started reading the minutes of the county council and the county commissioners here and just didn't find much, honestly. Found a lot of 7-0 votes. So what I decided to do was, well, let's take another step. Let's start watching those meetings online. So I started to do that. Didn't even know who my councilman was, I'll be completely honest. Again, started to see very little debate, pretty much rubber stamping everything. It's 7-0 Republicans on our county council. How many of you know who your councilman is? A few. It's going to be me soon. But the problem in Hendricks County right now is the same problem that we have in a lot of places in Indiana. It's a blockade of Republicans. I know that as a single Democrat, or along with Cindy Simmons, become 2 Democrats on the county council, we're not going to be able to outvote the GOP. However, what I want to be able to do is to fight for everyone in this room, fight for the citizens of Plainfield and the rest of the townships that I'd be covering. My ultimate goal is transparency and accountability at our level of government. Make sure that those debates happen in public. In the last meeting, the last council meeting on March 17th, they were discussing a department issue that kept asking, a certain department kept asking for changes in salary structure, additional jobs, things like that outside of the regular budget process. One of the councilmen sort of wrote them a little bit about why are you doing this on a consistent basis. Another councilman stepped up and said, this should be done behind closed doors. We should not be debating this here. That's the transparency issue. That's the accountability issue that I want to be able to provide. The reason why I ask if you know who your councilman is because they don't do a lot in the community. They're not out there. They're the ones that control the purse strings here in the county. They're the ones that bring in the money and send the money back out. My goal as a council member would be to have at least a monthly open house. It might be really boring for me. I might end up sitting and having coffee for 3 hours by myself. But at least I'll give that opportunity and broadcast that opportunity for anyone to come by and ask questions about what we're doing on the council. Yes?
The other thing that we need to do out is that, the web address, so you can do that, because it's like 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that's the other issue is that,
Tired, you forget about it.
yeah, the council meetings are at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, so they're trying to hide it, right? So my number one goal, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to propose that we move it to like 7 p.m. in the evening. So that's my number one thing that I want to do. Beyond all of that, financial transparency and accountability, I believe in smart growth in our county. We don't have to allow every single development that wants to come here. I know, and I've heard, and I've spoken to a lot of people, especially in Liberty Township. I know that's a big concern there. And when I was just being myself and not really knowledgeable about what was going on, I was for township merging. I'm not anymore. After I've read and heard some of the issues from especially the more rural townships, I think we need to be able to keep especially those fire districts and those emergency services separate. We can't have a firehouse 2 townships over. But smart growth also means that we understand that we are lucky enough to live in a place where other people want to be. And so we can be a little picky as far as what that growth is going to look like. Plainfield is expanding west. I know all the other suburbs are as well. We need to respect and understand that some of those communities want to remain or have their image and their lifestyle remain very similar to the way it is today and the way it has been. So we need to be able to understand that and give them the power to be able to control that growth. And then finally, when we do have growth, especially industrial growth, I would love to be able to put in a mandate that says when an industrial development comes into Hendricks County, that company must provide training or some sort of form of job development for returning adult students and for high school kids. We have a great program, a great building made at Plainfield. So those are the things that I'd like to see, because we do have a great county and a great place, and we're blessed to be in a location that a lot of people want to be in. So I'm Jared Petrie, and I'm running for Hendricks County Council, District 3. I appreciate your support.
Thanks, Jared. Stan Albaugh, running for Washington Township Board.
Hi, I'm Stan Albaugh. I'm running for Washington Township Board. For those of you that don't know me, I spent over 30 years on active duty in the Air Force, and I'm a retired full colonel. During that time period, I was B-52s, B-1s, E-3s, that sort of thing. I'm running for the Washington Township Board, and I have a slightly different view than what Karen has. But now, I'm not saying that Karen is wrong by any stretch of the imagination, because she's focusing on rural townships. I live in Washington Township, which is basically Avon, and I'm focused on more suburban townships. In Washington Township, we have 5 different government entities issuing building permits. 5. People wonder why the traffic and everything is so bad, because we do not operate under one coordinated development plan. Townships in Indiana were formed in the 1850s. Washington Township was incorporated in 1863. During that time period, the township trustee was responsible for schools, library, roads, fire, poor relief, cemeteries, the whole spectrum. Now, he's down to 4 jobs: abandoned cemeteries, poor relief, and by the way, the last time I checked, they spent more on program administration than they administered to the poor in Washington Township. Okay, and the fire department. Okay, a lot of people believe that that money is going to go away. It will not go away to the state. It will stay in the county. My secondary job that I do now that I'm retired, I'm on the Hendricks County Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals. So dealing some with people's property taxes. But trying to consolidate that. In an effort to do that, I did a petition at 22 and got more than sufficient number of everybody I talked to, people that wanted to do the consolidation. The Avon Town Council immediately voted and approved the petition. If the Washington Township Board would have approved it, it would have come out to the citizens to have a vote. Do you want to consolidate or not consolidate? But the people on the Washington Township Board waited until after the election, even though it was the township, or excuse me, Avon approved it in, I want to say, April or May, very, very early on. And they waited until after the election and then voted it down. So I am running for the Washington Township Board, trying to fix some of this problem in our local community to get us to consolidate. Yes, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Who else? Anybody except Ted? No. Kidding. Come on, Ted. Ted Baggeson, running for Liberty Township Board.
Yeah, unfortunately, politics is really messy. I have a different take on a number of these things, and so I'm going to try to speak to them all very quickly. If you're looking, I'm going to get off topic from Liberty Township for a second. If you're looking at putting solar panels on distribution centers, you need to look at changing zoning.
Yep.
Because the roofs do not support them. I looked at putting solar panels on a building 1.2 million square feet in Plainfield a long time ago. It was not feasible to do it because of the structure and because of the laws, and at the time, they could not buy power back. It gives you like an ROI of 40 years and nobody's going to put it on the building. It's just not cost effective. So then, like I said, politics are messy. So some of these things, they're great, but it's a layered approach. So I'm running for Liberty Township Board. There's a 3-member board, currently all Republicans. I'm running for a lot of the same reasons other people talk about. Transparency. It is really hard to find out what's going on at the township level. And as we're peeling back, there's interesting things going on there. Technically, our township is insolvent to a certain degree. Our expenditures are more than what we are taking in tax dollars, and a lot of that has to do because of how the state and the county manage the residents and the businesses. So all those warehouses going in up in our township, they're all on a TIF. We don't get the tax dollars for it. So we provide the fire protection for them, and we get nothing for it. Zero. That gets skimmed off the top. It goes to the county's TIF. Now what we can do as a township is we can go to the county and we can beg for money. And that's how it works. We say, hey, we got this shortage, we need $80,000. And the county goes, do better, here's 20. And there's nothing we can do about it. And it has to go to equipment, cannot go to salaries. So we can't staff, we can't make changes, we can't add people to our departments. So we're primarily volunteer. That's kind of how we work. The volunteers and people that are part-time, so we have to pay for benefits. Like I said, it's complicated the more I learn about all this stuff and how it interacts. But if people understood this, the transparency, more people understand their taxes, where they're going, and what to do about it. How do we maintain our fire protection? And that's one of the things they talk about townships going away. That's one of the criteria. If you're not providing your fire protection to the level you're supposed to, you're on the list to go away. So our township has to figure out how to balance the budget, protect fire protection for everybody, and maintain our township. And we are just on the cusp of either surviving or not surviving, and the question is, where would we go? And technically, based on what the state wants to do, like I said, they want to get rid of approximately 200 townships, is you will either go into the city that you are part of or overlap with, if over, I think it's 51% of your population, you get it for it. And then they want to take it down to only 2 townships per county. So that does a lot of consolidating. Sometimes consolidation is good, but out in the rural communities, there's really not a big benefit to us, other than the product tax dollars go up. So anyway, that's why I'm running. Transparency. You can't address all these issues. Being on the board, I can't always address issues, but the reason I'm running is for the transparency, and because in my business life, about 25, 30 years, that's what I did. I balanced budgets. I looked at and reduced budgets year over year. I did contracting. I looked at contracts and having service level agreements in them, so that way I could hold my businesses I did business with accountable. So if you didn't deliver, I didn't have to pay you. I had to put penalties in there. I want to make sure that the government does that. The government, they get the money in and they just kind of spend it. they should be accountable for how it's spent, just like I am in my own budget. Hurry up. Okay. So that's why I'm running, because I think I can add value there on the board. Whatever they do, I want to make sure we're getting our value for it. I don't mind paying for taxes, but I want to get every penny that I put into it back out in the service I paid for.
Thank you, Ted. I forgot about my rule, giving a microphone to a politician. Outreach and data management, Kathy Davia. These are our committee reports. I'm getting Darcy back on her slideshow like it's supposed to be.
Okay, I'm no politician, so I'll try and keep it really short. The outreach team was really busy in March. We hosted Dems and Deli with Joe Mackey and some other candidates. We had a well-attended trivia night, and we helped with the No Kings rally. April has some other fun activities to bring Democrats together. We're hosting another Dems and Deli in Brownsburg, McAllister's Monday at 11 o'clock in the morning. District 4 candidate Jaden McCash will be there. Next Wednesday, the 22nd, we're having our first bowling night at Pinheads in Brownsburg at 7 o'clock. We really need you to sign up for this so we know how many lanes to reserve. There is a charge for the lanes plus shoe rental, but it should be a really fun evening for all ages. Democrats are big on saving the environment. Here's your chance. Join us next Saturday at April 25th at 9 o'clock at Arbuckle Park in Brownsburg. Check out the Mobilize event for more details. And Cindy Holman, right back here, is sponsoring it, and she can give you all the details. Let's show the community that Democrats do good works. We'd love to help you join us on our outreach committee. We're planning a warm weather picnic and could use some help. Hopefully warm but not swelteringly hot like it was last year. Just let me know if you're interested in joining us. But remember, even if you're not part of the official outreach committee, we need all of you to reach out to your friends and neighbors to encourage them to vote. Invite them to join us at one of these activities. Maybe bring a friend to bowling.
Thank you, Kathy. Ted's back.
I know I'm back.
Yay!
And I prefer no mic, but she tells me that I'm bad for the camera, so I'll use the mic. Anyway, so PCs. A lot happened over the past couple of weeks, still a lot more to do. We're halfway through the month with the election. See, I'm going faster now, make up for the time. So we did a lip drop, so we did kind of a blitz on it. So we got people together, it was PCs, volunteers, and I appreciate all those who participated. We stuffed a bunch of bags, and then we went out and hung those bags, which turns out that's a lot of work. I was able to get in a lot more steps than I really would have liked to have gotten in. I did one of the areas myself, but a lot of people went out hanging these on doors. Like I said, it's a lot of work. It takes a couple hours to go out and hang 100 bags. And so I appreciate everybody's out there. We now have a follow-up where we are going to be doing some phone calls. So that should be starting tomorrow, basically a phone bank. And we're basically calling out the same group. Part of it's to get the vote out for the primary. The primary. Because when people vote in the primary, we can see that in the van, which is kind of how we look at participation and support and can identify people. That just makes our lip drops, our calling, and everything get more and more efficient. So that's critical to us, so make sure you encourage people to get out and vote. Appreciate all those helping, and you guys can look forward to your phone list.
Thank you, Ted. Okay, let's keep up the fun here. Karen, fundraising, what are you doing all the way back there? Karen O'Brien, who's the fundraising chair. Did I say that?
I think it's been said several times. Karen O'Brien, holding the microphone and talking about fundraising. You don't have it on your schedule, but next Tuesday night, the 21st, is Two Guys Pies Together Tuesday for Democrats. And Two Guys Pies in Danville actually gives us something like 10% of all the takes, so we get money from Republicans. They also have a thin crust pizza that's to die for. And they have a tater tot appetizer with big tater tots and a whole bunch of cheese and bacon. So I love it there. They also have a salad bar for those of you who are more healthy. We are also doing, we're doing the Dem Daily Drawing, and I just did a preliminary count. We have 26 tickets left.
Wow.
And we will hit 300. So we're hoping to get that. If you would take a trip back to the back table sometime before the end of the night, we can get your ticket in tonight. Anyway, I think that's it. And thank you for all your support.
If everybody in here buys half a ticket, we'll have those 26 sold.
Half a ticket.
I got my folder.
Who's next?
Alright, so I'm going to do both at the same time. I'm Darcy James. I have a couple of hats, but first we'll talk about communications first. As you can see, we've had our videographers around. We are now live streaming our meeting, so if you cannot make it in because you don't want to hit the storm, watch it at home. Or if you're like, yeah, man, I really wanted to make it, my kid got sick, watch it the next day. They're all available for replay. And then as well, we have candidate interviews we've been doing every single month. Even if you don't watch it all the way through. Let it play all the way through. Let the playlist just play. Even if you just, cleaning at home. We get our views up. It really helps with the algorithm. Unfortunately, social media really is a numbers game. So the more subscribers, the more people, even if you just put it on repeat. Because you just really, really want to hear what they have to say, The Bobi one just got posted this week. So the Secretary of State run candidacy is obviously a really big one. We now have Blythe and Bo on there. Check those out before you go if you haven't already early voted. That's the gist on that. And then, like I said, many hats. So I'm also trying to get us a Young Dems going on. We're trying more every single time to get more people coming. We will have our virtual meeting coming up. We do it the last Thursday of every month. I do it online, so there's no, real excuse. 8 o'clock at night, you're not doing anything. So we will be planning our next big event for the Young Dems, just as like a plug. Look forward to seeing information about us doing a fundraiser for Will Coulter. So our next meeting that we'll do for the Young Dems will be planning that fundraiser, hopefully in May or June. So that'll be coming up next. And then I'm going to kind of backtrack. I did forget, didn't make a slide for it. I had some questions about the t-shirt orders in ETA. I was really, really hoping that they were going to be here today. Life happened, that didn't work. There will be an email when I get the actual ETA of when they will be in. I'll send an email to everyone who placed that order. And I'll either, mark everyone if you can come get it from me here or at events, what have you. So we will have those, I really thought this week, but soon. I think that's all I got. Any questions for me? What's up?
It says the virtual is 4/12. That's 2 days ago.
Whatever the last Thursday of the month is. Don't ask me what that was. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
423, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. That's, pretend that is what that says. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dorothy. And the executive committee meets every month as well. We've been remiss at not letting you in on that little part of it, so I'm going to try to be more transparent. We talked about budgets. We asked for budgets from some of our committees so that we can figure out where the dollars are going and kind of have some kind of an idea about what that's happening. So we're still working through that for a couple of them. I can't read my writing. We will start looking after the primary. We will begin to send out grants for the candidates of the county, and that's money. We always tell you, the reason you give money is so we can give money to candidates, and so that's when we're going to start that process in May after the primary. And we also are working on a volunteer GOTV plan, something that well, actually, Chris is working on it mostly. I say the we, but to try and get ourselves as a organization functioning somewhere around the election calendar for the year, so that all year long we're working to elect Democrats. I know it. So we discussed that. Some of you have probably, I know, have heard me talk about CER, which is Contest Every Race. It is a nationwide grant program that we are a part of. We are a part of that cohort this year. And they are asking, they've come up with this huge count. I mean, they have, CER grants are awarded all over the country. And this is so we discussed the next big thing that's going to happen with them. We spent the first half of the year, since last May anyway, working on Democrats Works projects throughout the county, and this is going to be one of those. Only everybody's going to be doing the same thing at the same time. Okay. This is a really exciting part of the executive committee, you guys. You ready? We discussed the FEC requirements for videotape. This kind of stuff can only be found there. And then we also usually almost always talk about the gaming commission and charity gaming rules and such like that. So it's really a dynamic, exciting committee. Okay. And now, Tracy. Tracy Barron's our County Election Board representative.
Thank you. I am so excited Linda remembered me. Thank you. I'll keep it really short. I only have two things that I'd really like to remind people about. If you have not voted yet, remember every precinct in Hendricks County has a ballot for us. So if you get to the poll and you are not presented that option, that's a problem. We did have a small glitch really early on. It was corrected really quickly. We have a great relationship with the vendor. We call them, we find out what's wrong, and they fix it. But if you are not presented with your ballot, let that clerk know, let the judge know, let the inspector know, and they will contact the election office to get it corrected. Don't panic. Right now, we're still early on. We have a lot of time. Hopefully all of these little technical issues get sorted out before Election Day, and I'm confident that they will. And the second thing I'd like to remind people of is that we're seeing a lot of campaign signs out right now. And that's great. Now, where political signs can be placed is not governed by election rule. So only the timing is governed by election rule. Where they can be placed is actually governed by like INDOT. So when you're placing your candidate signs, make sure you're putting them on private property where you've asked the owner if it's okay. You cannot put a sign on a public right-of-way, on a public easement. The county can take it down, the town can take it down, the state can take it down. And if you see signs that are inappropriately placed, the election office and the election board really has no control over that. Feel free to contact the county. Feel free to call the town and say, hey, there are signs in places that they shouldn't be. I was actually behind a Town of Avon truck the other day, going through a roundabout, and he stopped right smack in the middle of that roundabout and started pulling political signs because they were not in the right spot. And they were Republican signs. Just saying. So if you see one that's inappropriately placed, contact the right official, whether that's town, county, or state. That's all I have.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, the Republicans are getting primaried all over the place. They got to spend all that money at the very front end of their campaigns. I know. I think Republicans spending money is a wonderful thing. Okay. We are what? Yes.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
About signs. I noticed this today.
I noticed that we have had a conversation a while ago about how a lot of people are kind of triggered about the color red right now. You know, but I have seen Republican signs that are all blue.
It's real confusing.
It's really confusing because a lot of people just automatically associate that name and the color with the party. So just something to keep in mind when you're thinking about having your signs created. Thank you.
So make them red? Is that what you're saying? Make them red?
There's just so many little ends and bits and pieces of politics, isn't there?
Orange, down.
Okay. PCs, I want to make this clear. We're coming up to the other thing that we have on these ballots for this primary, besides political candidates, are party candidates, which are state convention delegates and precinct chairs. Precinct chairs can be appointed rather than elected, but not until after the election. Their term is for 4 years. So the reason I'm saying all that is to say that on election day, on May the 5th, on May the 6th, if you are a PC who has been assigned, you're no longer in office. Your term is over, and if you want to be a PC again, you have to approach me to be assigned to a spot. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Okay. Carmela Bartolone, is she here? I don't think. Okay. For state delegate or for precinct chair or for both? Let me say this, Carmela first. Carmela is the new Democrat representative on the Pittsburgh Advisory Planning Commission. Now, everybody who is on the ballot for state delegate, who's here, stand up. I know, there were so many, so awesome, thank you. Now, if you are on the ballot for precinct chair, stand up. Okay, thank you. I have volunteers. This party, any political party, lives or dies because of volunteers. You're probably sick of hearing us talk about volunteers, but I'm just telling you, just for your future mental health, it's never going to stop. You're never going to quit. Encouraging people to be a volunteer in some space of some kind for either the party, a candidate, or both. Something like that. Marilee Steckler, where is she? She's over there. She was over there. There she is. Helped me schedule all of the Democrat poll workers for early voting and election day. And it was another one of those, moments of a lifetime, really. Regina Funk, who is not here, put together all of the scheduling tool that we used, made up of all of those wonderful Excel spreadsheets, how we did that. I also want to pay particular thank you to Margaret Troner. Margaret's here. Stand up, Margaret. I didn't see Janet Poole. Janet, are you here and I don't see you? Those two wrote out by hand in cursive thank you notes to 100 Democrats for their gracious donations. And they finished that project. We called it the Gratitude Project. We gave it to them, and boom, it was done. I love that. Thank you so much. So No Kings was great again. We had about the same number of people that we had last October, which I think is pretty good since there are so many additional towns having their own No Kings celebration. And so it was good. It's always good. It's just always good when it stays safe and it stays fun. I know that there's 5051, Indivisible, what's the other one? Mad Voter? No? Okay. There's another big national group that comes together for these No Kings. And we had in October, or in June of 25, I think they had like 5 million people. October they had 7. This past couple weeks, there were 9 million across the county. I mean, across the country. And so that says something, that's meaningful. Those people at 5051 and Indivisible are asking those people who are outside on No Kings, and you can even do it if you can't get outside, and that is to have a national work spending strike May the 1st. So this is, if you can not go to work, try and make those plans. If you cannot go to school, try and do that. All your shopping and all your things, don't do it on that day. Do it on the day before, the day after, but not on that day. They feel like that we're getting to the numbers where, corporations don't give a about how many of us stand on the side of the street or walk down the avenues and such. They care a whole lot more if we can do something in those numbers to hit their bottom line. That's the only thing that's meaningful to them. And so that's the reason they're encouraging this national work spending strike on May the 1st. I've already told you about April 18th with all the CD4 candidates there. It's going to be so fun. Everybody good? Yes. Sandy.
I just want to remind all the candidates that your campaign finance is due Friday by noon. But it's 12:01, you get mine. So by noon on Friday.
All those CFA 4s are all due Friday at noon. gotta keep track of monies now. Or they do, I mean, you know. So, let's do some raffle draws now. We have 2 to do tonight. We have the regular 50/50 raffle, and we have the first of the Triple D raffles to do.
Are we doing this again? Am I doing that one too? Woohoo! All right, the 50/50 raffle. I want you to know real people win it. I've won it 3 times.
This is for the 50/50.
But I didn't buy tickets. Is there anybody here who didn't buy tickets? Because my husband did, so I don't want it to look like if I won 4 times. Sign up! All right. Ready? Okay. Oh, yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad, it's gotta be, see, that's why the executive committee gets together and talks about all those gaming
It's hard to hold
levels,
that steady
because we have a
after a while.
gaming license, and it's not like the DNR at all. Ready?
Said he shut down at $5.
$77, woo-hoo!
The winning ticket is?
No, that's not right. 189 578. Now my husband won. Dang it. What number is it? What do you have? 71. I think that's it. Woohoo! All right, you want to set it right here?
I don't think anybody
It'll
will see it.
lean. Will it lean?
I was wondering if I just held it up here. Oh, it is.
Okay. All right. Deb daily drawing. Does everybody know how that works? We've got, today is the first night. We're drawing 1 ticket tonight. And then we will, we will have, the winner will get $40 this week. Their ticket will be put back in there. And then they could win all of the rest of the drawings. So they could win 40 tomorrow, the next day, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then we will be drawing, for the first week it's 40, what's the next week, Karen? 50, 75, and then 100. And then at the next meeting, you really want to come to that because we'll have a $1,000 winner. The payments will come out after the drawing is all done because if you win 3 or 4 or 10 or 29, you're going to get 1 check because that helps us with costs. So we will, did you already draw one? You already done it, Nick? Dang it.
Okay.
I didn't even watch it.
I wanted to point out that she turned her face away from the drawing when she pulled it.
All right.
We do that, we have done that for 3 years. We've been very careful.
You did good. And we, oh, Georgia Novak, it's ticket number 1922. Woohoo! All right. I want to make sure and get that recorded, and then we're going to drop it back in so you can win tomorrow.
We also take a picture of the ticket and add that on the record, so that we can look back and see who won every day.
Very good.
Is this going to be posted on the website?
I didn't hear that.
Is it going to be on the website?
I don't know if we do that on the website, do we? The ticket number. I don't think we do that because of privacy issues.
No, not the name, just the number.
The ticket number. All right, so Georgia Novak, 1922, you're back in. Woohoo! Oh my God.
Okay. Are we good on time? Oh my gosh, we're so good on time. Yes, ma'am.
I think we adjourn.
Second.
I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn. Is everybody okay? Does anybody have any questions? Voting's been going on now for, since the second week?
20 days left.
So is everybody all right? Anybody have any questions? Anybody run into anything funky or hinky or anything like that?
Satellite locations start on Monday.
Yeah, the satellites will start Monday. Yeah, download your Hendricks County Clerk app on your phone and you'll know everything and more than you care about. Okay, I will ask for that. Yes, Jackie.
So can we have the meet the district candidates before early voting starts?
What's the question?
I mean, the candidates, you know, the 18th we're having that.
This Saturday, yep.
Yeah. Can that be before early voting starts?
No, because early voting's already started.
I know, but I mean.
Oh, you mean for the future?
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to cover 16 counties. And so trying to get, so. Okay, are we good? Jared?
I have a meet and greet coffee shop chat thing on Saturday from 11 to 1 in Monrovia at Morehouse Brook.
Monrovia. Love it.
I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.